And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with the Game Boy Geek.
Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today it's all about potatoes. Yep, we got evil potatoes that are going to be peeling. We've got potato men that are going to be fighting them off. We're talking about Potato Man here. This is I'd say a reverse trick-taking game for 2 to 5 players. It was one of the 5 recommended Spiel des Jahres for 2014. It wasn't one of the 3 nominated, but it was one of the 5 that are recommended, so I bought it. There's a few copies laying around that you can get on Amazon in the US, and they still come from Germany. I think just around 16 bucks shipped I got this game. So let's take a look. I'll show you how it's played. I'll see you on the other side. In Potato Man, it's like a reverse trick-taking game, and you're trying to play tricks to win these different sacks of potatoes. Now there's 4 different suits in the game. We have red, blue, yellow, and green. And as you win these tricks, they're going to be worth certain points. For example, if you win a trick with a red card, you're only going to get this sack, which is worth 1 sack or 1 point. The blue is worth 2, the green is worth 3, the yellow is worth 4. We'll get to these in a moment. The reason why they're different points is to win tricks is just like a normal trick-taking game where you have the highest card that's played that trick, and the reds go all the way up to 18, where the yellows only go up. The yellows go up to 13. So it's harder to win with the yellow because it only goes up to 13, where the higher cards there, and that's how the scoring works. So everyone will be dealt a certain amount of potato cards depending on the amount of players there are. Now let's pretend that it's a 4-player game, and the first player leads with a blue 6. Now, unlike most trick-taking games, it's reverse. You are forced to play a color that has not been played yet. So let's say someone then plays a green 12. So the next player cannot play green, cannot play blue. Maybe they play a 9 of yellow, and I love the artwork on these cards. And so the last player has to play a red card, and maybe all they have is an 8. And so in this case, the highest card, which is 12, would win. Now, if the red person put down a red 12, they would be tied. The later card of the value would win the trick. But in this case, the person who played the green 12 would win the trick, and they would take one of these, which essentially at the end of the round is going to be worth 3 points because it has 3 sacks on it. Now, there's only 2 of these left. Now, let's say later on during the game, some tricks are taken and more of these are gone. And let's say there's no green left. And let's say someone wins green again. Since there's no green left, they get to take one of these, which is worth 5. Well, they would have won 3 points, but because green's gone, it's 5. So sometimes it's good to hold on to cards of a certain color, hoping that somebody else will win a bunch of those, make it blank, so that you can win one of the 5-point totals. Now, if there's none of these left and you win a green, you get nothing. But if there's some in here, boom. Now let's say blue's gone. If someone wins a blue or a green, that person is going to win one of these 5, and so on and so forth. Now there is one exception to the rule that the highest card always wins. You see, let's say someone throws down a blue 15, okay? And then the next player plays, well, a green 14. Okay, now the next player has a very high red card. There's 3 cards of the red cards that are called Evil Potato. And it's the 3 highest digits, 16, 17, and 18 of red. And we look at this and we know he's evil because he has a costume on, he has a potato peeler. How scary. So the highest 3 cards from the red deck, which are 16, 17, and 18, are all evil potatoes. Now, when an evil potato is played, if somebody from the yellow deck, the 3 lowest cards from the yellow deck are Potato Man. And we see he's a superhero. He's got the evil Potato Man through his through the fork there. And so Potato Man always trumps this. And whenever Potato Man's thrown and there's an evil potato there, he wins the trick. And so that's sort of a little twist to this game where you don't necessarily have to have the highest, but only when the evil potato is thrown can Potato Man beat them. And that's a good move because this is the highest regular color, it's worth 4. Now that would continue. Obviously the person who won the last trick is the one that starts the next one. This would continue till everyone has, this round would just continue to be playing until a trick cannot be finished. For example, let's say someone plays a yellow 12. Then someone plays a red 5, and then there's only blue and green left, and the person says, I don't have blue or green. They show the hand to say they can't say it, they can't play it, and then nothing happens. This just gets discarded, and the round is over. Now this can be a big pain in the butt because you might be saving your good cards for the end, but you don't ever get to use them because, hey, someone ended the round because they couldn't play, and then you're kind of screwed. So there's a little press your luck mechanic there as well. Now that's how to play with 3 or 4 players. To play with 5 players is a variant. Essentially, now there can be only one duplicate color. So someone can throw down a green, a blue, the next person throws a green, and that's it. That means nobody else can throw a green, and everybody else after has to throw a color that's not here. They could throw down maybe, a red 9, and then maybe they throw down a yellow 9. So in a 5-player game, there's always going to be one color that's duplicated, but after that, nobody else can throw any of the colors that's on the table. That's the 5-player variant. In the 2-player variant, every player is given 12 potato cards, and then they're also given a deck of 8 cards that are face down. And so that each player is going to play 2 cards per trick. And so let's say he plays an 11, and someone else plays, the other player plays a 9. Well, I have this deck. After I play one, I pick up one of these cards and add it to my hand. So now I still have 12 cards, but I only have 7 left in here. Now I can pick and play a second card, and maybe I play this, and then the other player is going to play and then pick up from their deck, and that's how the 2-player game is played. Now at the end of each round, everyone's going to count up the sacks. If this was me, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'd have 8 points. You keep track on paper because all these go back to the middle like they were at the beginning of the next round, and you pay 1 round for every player that's in the game. So 2 for 2-player, 5 for 5-player, and so on. And whoever has the most points at the end is the winner. All right, well, I'm typically not huge on trick-taking games, but I've been playing a lot of them lately. You saw my review for Diamonds lately. It's one of my favorite trick-taking games now. This is another interesting twist. I like when trick-taking games are very simple. They're very close to the original way that you usually play trick-taking games, but you have 1 or 2 small little twists, and it really does change the game. This twist puts it on its head, upside down. The way that you can't follow suit. Of course, unless you're playing with 5 players, then you can follow 1 suit. But when you can't follow suit, it's just interesting. It's backwards. It makes you think differently. It feels like a trick-taking game, but then it doesn't. So it's really cool in that regard. And I love the fact that when things are coming to you, and you decide which cards to play, and you're looking at what goals are out there, and you're trying to figure out, can I save these higher cards for later, in hopes that when I win that blue award, there's nothing there and I can take the really good gold awards. But if I wait too long, then people might not have a card that they can play, and then the round will end prematurely, and that press your luck element is cool. I also like that little evil potato man. That also throws it up on its head, where when evil potato comes out, someone can throw potato man, take the whole trick. That makes some interesting decisions on what you're going to play as well. So it's I like it. It's a solid little quick trick-taking game. Yeah, I'd say 20 to 30 minutes. I'd say it's best with 4. 5 not bad either. Playing a second color once seems a little weird since the rules are always about playing 1, but it feels fine. It's just as good. With 2 players, it's okay. It still works because you're each playing 2 cards and then you get a new card every time. I like it with 4 of the best, but it still works at all the ranges. So and it's really tough to do with trick-taking games to make it play okay with 2. So anyway, solid trick-taking game, upside down, simple twist, lots of fun, lots of things to think about with the scoring and what are you going to go for, when am I going to save my cards, when am I going to play my cards. I can recommend this one. If you like trick-taking games, you're going to want to check out Potato Man.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.